All right, so in this video, we're going to be talking about, so find cosine theta if CSC. Well, if you're looking at that saying, I have no idea what that is, I made another video talking about how we use the basic trigonometric identities to find the reciprocal identities. And I encourage you to watch that. But for those of you watching, hopefully you know that CSC actually stands for cosecant. And to use cosecant, we have to make a triangle. I mean, we have to make a right triangle in order to use the information. But you might be saying, Self, where's the triangle? I don't see it. So we're going to make our own. It's not even that bad. So here we go. Wow, look at that triangle. Yep, I was an artist. That was my former career. All right, and guess what? You can put theta wherever you want. I'll put theta down here. Okay. And so if that's theta, we label our sides opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. All right, and now that we've labeled the triangle, let's take a look. Cosecant of theta. Hopefully you know that the reciprocal of cosecant is sine. So sine of theta is actually 3 over 4. Right, because you flip it over, and that's why it's called reciprocal. All right, and so from theta, and we know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So we know that the opposite is 3 and the hypotenuse is 4. Okay, so 3 and 4. But how in the world do we find the adjacent? Right triangle, we know 2 sides. Mr. Schwant, of course, as you know, likes eating pie. When he goes to the prom, he's going to go alone, so he's going stag. And Mr. Schwant's favorite meal is Korean barbecue. Put all the clues together. Pie, stag, Korean. Oh, that sounds a lot like Pythagorean theorem. Fantastic. So here we go. Let's do it. So it's going to be 3 squared plus b squared equals 4 squared, which is 9 plus b squared equals 16. Subtract 9. Sorry, that was my cell phone buzzing. Don't mind that. Square root of b equals the radical 7. We don't need decimals because as the instructions say, make sure your answers are in radical form if necessary. So we know that the adjacent side is radical 7. Now we can find cosine. So cosine, as we know, is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the adjacent side is radical 7 over the hypotenuse, which is 4. So my answer is radical 7 over 4. All right, so that's that. Whew! If you need to push the pause, do it. Take a look. Collect your thoughts and your emotions, because I know that was very rough. And let's do one more. Here we go. All right, so we want to find secant theta if cosecant is radical 2. Again, where's the triangle? It's right here. Don't worry. Mr. Schwant's going to be crazy. He's going to make it look like that. And we'll put theta down here. So, if it doesn't give you a triangle, make one. Pictures are okay, people. Pictures are our friends. So if that's theta, opposite is the farthest away. Hypotenuse is always the hypotenuse, and the adjacent is right there. All right, so cosecant. The reciprocal of cosecant is sine. We just talked about that. Okay, which is 1 over radical 2. Right, because below every number is invisible 1. So radical 2 over 1, the reciprocal is 1 over radical 2. Now, before you start freaking out and saying, wait, there's a radical in the denominator, oh no. Luckily, that's not the answer we want. We can work with 1 radical 2. We don't need to work things around and get the radical out of the denominator. Remember, we only need to get the radical out of the denominator if that's our final answer. But that's not our final answer. So let's just go ahead and write that. We know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So that's going to be 1, and the hypotenuse is radical 2. Okay. Now we got to find the other side, right? Because we actually need secant, which its reciprocal is cosine. So we got to have the adjacent. But everyone, stop what you're doing. Take a look. Look at that triangle. If the hypotenuse is radical 2 and one of the legs is 1, this might be a special triangle. Yes, it is. It is a special right triangle. So if one of the legs is 1 and the hypotenuse is radical 2, of course the other leg is 1. Don't believe me? Do Pythagorean theorem. You'll get it. So now that I know the adjacent side is 1, Well, let's find cosine, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent side is 1. Hypotenuse is radical 2. So the reciprocal of cosine is secant, which, again, these just flip spots. And it's radical 2 over 1, or just radical 2. Yeah, there you go. So remember, the only thing you have to do at the beginning, make the triangle yourself. You can put theta wherever you want, label your sides, and then just write down what you need to write down to find the missing side. And then it's really crucial that you know each reciprocal identity. Again, if you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, I would really encourage you to watch the other video where I explain it, or try to find some online resource that shows you what the reciprocal identities are.